I'm Brecky.
The following is a sponsored program paid for by Robin Gwaltney Group-RE Results. Welcome to Rochester Real Estate, featuring Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group-RE Results and Andy Brownell. Here's Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk, 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
It is Saturday morning. I'm Andy Brownell, and of course, we're with Robin Gwaltney Group-RE Results. Good morning, Robin.
Good morning.
A week away from Easter already?
Well, today is our Easter egg hunt. So that'll be a big thing checked off. We have 5,500 eggs stuffed with candy. 1,000 of them have coupons for prizes. We have 4 8-foot tables full of prizes, ranging from bubbles to balls to stuffies to candy. I mean, lots of big prizes. And the kids go crazy. And they start lining up at about 11:15, 11:30. We do, let the little teeniest ones start at 12, and that's a few minutes, and then we kind of keep going up with age. Within 30 minutes, those 5,500 eggs are all picked up, opened, and put back in the containers. And then the next hour and a half, they take their time getting their prizes. But, it's a lot of fun. It's a good day for it.
Oh, my gosh. So, I can't believe
that's at our Wabasha office, in the park right by our Wabasha office.
So immediately the question that comes to mind, where do you store 5,000 plastic Easter eggs?
Well, luckily, we own that pretty much whole city block. Our building is the old city hall, and then we have the next attached office that used to be back in the day, the ambulance and the fire trucks, I guess. And then the next part was the jail. So it's like it keeps going back and back. But we have a big, huge basement, and then we have a big unfinished upstairs. So we have lots of room for storage. But unfortunately, lots of room for storage means lots of storage.
So you own the old Olmsted or old Wabasha County Jail?
Yeah, the old so when I say old jail, I mean 100 years ago jail.
Right.
So
when
the city hall was the city hall, the fire department and the jail were all connected. So from our building on the front there on Main Street, the building goes all the way back.
I did not realize that. That's amazing.
It's a really cool building. Yeah, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. And it's just right up along the park. So
is anybody getting dressed up as a bunny?
Of course the Easter Bunny is going to be there.
Okay.
Ready for photos. Yeah, it'll be great fun.
Well, it sounds like the weather's going to be pretty good for...
It's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it'll be really good. I mean, last Saturday would have been better because it was 72, but I will not balk at mid-50s. It'll be fine.
Right. It is March, not quite April.
And there's no snow, so that's good.
Well, there you go. So on social media, Facebook specifically, I saw that as predicted, and I'm not surprised, you're seeing the multiple offers on these homes at this busy time of the year.
It's crazy. So I had this cute little, I think I might have talked about it last week. It was this cute little green stucco house that was the rectory of the Baptist church at one time. Yeah. Yep. So that was listed for $234,900. We had 35 people come to the open house. We had 20 showings in addition to the 35 people that came to the open house. So there was, 50 some people through their house on Saturday and Sunday. Grand Central Station. And this couple, they were so great. They just said, we want a marketing plan. We do not want our house to sit on the market. I work from home. I don't want to be disrupted during the day. So I said, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to price it here. And I think we'll get this, which is even higher than what they were hoping to get. And doggone it, Andy, we got 10 offers, exceeded what I had kind of told them we would get. And I can't, legally I can't share the number until it closes. But I will tell you that they were very, very, very pleased. And I had said, I made a post about it on Facebook because multiple offer season is so stressful. It's not just stressful for buyers. It's stressful for sellers. It's stressful for agents. And agents feel so bad when their buyers write great offers and still don't get it. It's just so hard, but you can only sell that house to one party, right? So I always go, I know that buyers think, oh, did my offer even get presented? Did they tell them that I had an escalation clause? Did they tell them that I'm doing an inspection, but I won't make it contingent upon that? All the things, right? So I always write a cover summary page for each one of the offers, and I make sure to list all those things on it. And then I have the sellers sign it, and I write right on it, offer rejected by seller. So if any agent questions or wants it, I can send it right over. But that evening, we sat in the conference room with the sellers on speakerphone and called every one of the 10 agents who wrote offers and thanked them for their offer, told them that they, the first 9 that they didn't win, and that the offer that did win was a very high amount of money. It was an all cash offer. It had no inspection, basically no contingencies whatsoever, and the perfect closing date for them. And they liked the fact it was one of those situations where the buyer wrote a letter, and he said, I currently rent in this neighborhood, and I have been walking past your house as I walk to work, and I have admired your house for the last 2 years that I've lived here. And when I told my dad that great house in my neighborhood went on the market, he said, the green one. So, I mean, it was just so personal, right? And it pulled on it tugged on their heartstrings, because they knew that somebody would love that house as much as they did. And like I mentioned before, they put a ton of sweat equity into the house and dollars and repairs. I mean, they really made that a beautiful place. So
that's a great story,
it paid off for them. Yeah. And so I had made a post saying that we reached out to all of the agents, and it was so great because some of the agents chimed in and said, yeah, I can attest, I was one of them. I can confirm my buyer wasn't on the winning end, but we absolutely appreciated the communication, on and on like that. So really good feedback. But the best one was her. I wasn't Facebook friends with her, but clearly she can just follow me and post. And she said, thank you, Robin. You came up with a marketing plan that didn't interfere with my work schedule, and it worked. You listened to our needs. You answered our questions. You were creative. You kept us informed. You explained the options. And Scott, and your team did your magic. You called it a proven system to sell in a weekend. Wow, 10 amazing offers. You were so respectful to all of the buyers by making phone calls and sending texts to their agents after 10 p.m. so they didn't have to wait on pins and needles, even though you had a very long day. And then she said, if I may note, the only downside of selling our home so quickly is we won't get to spend more time with you. How sweet is that?
Oh, yeah, that is awesome.
And so when you're working till 10 o'clock on Sunday, it doesn't feel so bad when you know that, people are appreciating it. So that was on Saturday, excuse me. So then the next day, I had another one that I had told you about, the one that backs up to Kutsky Park.
Yep.
That was, down, pretty much down on 11th Avenue, but almost down to Civic Center Drive. Anyway, they said, I put that on. I put listed on Saturday, sold on Sunday. And of course, there's always one in every crowd. And that's all I said. Listed on Saturday, sold on Sunday. And I had a guy put on there, oh, this is just another example of a realtor doing nothing for their commission. And I thought, okay, Robin, take the high road. It would have been really easy to say, dude, you have absolutely no idea. No idea. Because that particular client, she had medical reasons that she had to sell her house, right? And so Scott and I have been helping her with everything we can help her for the last several months. And she's like, okay, now I need somebody to do this. Can you find somebody for this? Can you find? Of course we will. We'll do everything we can to help you. So I then changed my post. I don't know if you saw it or not. Did you?
No, I didn't see that one. I saw the other one.
Okay. Well, this one, I said, live on Saturday, sold on Sunday. Absolutely love when things work out the way we plan. There is a lot of behind the scenes preparation that goes into getting a home ready for the market. I sold this home to the current owner 2 years ago in a very busy spring market. But yet, when she bought it, it was vacant. It was completely empty. It needed a deep cleaning. There were very few photos online at that time, and it was passed up by many buyers. It sat on the market for an unusually long period of time. I was able to negotiate a great deal for her, and she was thrilled. She gave the house the TLC it needed and quickly made it her home. She loved living there. She loves her neighbors. She loves the park in the backyard, and she loves the walkability to downtown. Excuse me. She's sad to leave, but due to the unforeseen circumstances, she needed to leave to move near family. She called me several months ago to tell me what was going on, and we started working on our game plan at that time. We started with the obvious things like the fresh paint and the completion of some of the unfinished projects that she started and was unable to finish. She appreciated our guidance and our help. She got the home decluttered. We took several trips for her to Savers, etc. I didn't put that in there, but finally was the pre-inspection, and we were ready for the market. We put a lot of thought and timing into the listing to make it so that she could time it smoothly and not have to make 2 payments at the same time, because that would have cost her a great amount of stress. So it may look easy, especially when they sell quickly. But believe me when I tell you that there is a lot that goes into listing a property and getting it sold when you want it sold. Getting it cleaned, getting it staged, getting the nice photos, all the things. That lady lived there, and it's public knowledge. So once she closes, people can look up what she paid for it and what she sold it for. And that wasn't just by putting a sign in the yard. I'll just say that. So, and I don't care. I don't need people to pat me on the back for working hard. But when people assume they know what's going on, because they think, oh, realtors are doing nothing, they put the sign in, it sells. Well, no, it's because they marketed it properly and priced it properly, and they're getting, going for the gusto, right? So There is a lot that goes on that isn't always visible.
And the other aspect, well, we have to take a break, but you have told me sometimes people have the wrong impression that Robin Gwaltney deals with the expensive homes.
Yeah.
And that one that you mentioned earlier certainly wasn't anywhere near the most expensive home in the market.
Well, even
paid
this
all
yellow
that
one was $350. Yeah, exactly. I love to work with all people, and whether they're first-time home buyers or I'm selling the 4th house for them, and all price ranges. Gosh, that's what makes this job fun and exciting.
All right, Robin, we'll take a quick break. We will be right back with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX results on News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
We'll be right back with Robin Gwaltney and Andy Brownell on Rochester Real Estate. This is News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9
Council.
Welcome back to Rochester Real Estate with Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results and Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Welcome back, and thanks for being with us. I'm Andy Brownell, and we are with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results. And Robin, everything you talked about, the writing out that cover sheet and notifying the other realtors so they could tell their clients what was going on. That was a lot of work. Oh my gosh.
Well, it's just respect. It's just respect, right? I think it's just, because those buyers, they're sad enough, but if they're like, well, I can't beat all cash, or, if they went higher, they went higher, or they didn't want an inspection and I did, they just kind of like to know, why didn't I get it?
Sure. But you always see the, I guess, online ads mainly, because it's not necessary to have a realtor, especially nowadays with, all these tools are out there,
AI.
particularly AI.
There you go.
Well, AI can't do all the stuff that you were talking about.
No. And actually, I'm going to see if I can find an article. I actually just read an article. Here we go. This was in the NAR Realtor News, so the National Association of Realtor. A perfect segue to this article. It says, AI listed this Miami home, but an agent closed the deal. Well, to sum it up, It was a house in Miami that the homeowner thought, oh, I don't need to pay a realtor. I'm just going to use Chat GPT and have them help me and tell me what I need to do, all the steps for listing my house, how to price my house. They used Chat GPT to tell them how to price it, everything. Well, unfortunately, the article said there was a story that noted that the seller said that the process exceeded his expectations and everything went so smoothly. But then when they interviewed the agent on the opposite end of the transaction, the one that was hired to work for the buyer, but ultimately ended up working for the buyer and the seller because she had to do things that AI couldn't do.
Imagine that.
She said, well, I hate to tell the guy because the deal's over now, so I can, but he definitely would have gotten more money for his house had he used a realtor, because AI wasn't able to explain things to him that would bring value to the house. She said that the listing photos did not even capture the property's differentiating features. Didn't show that it had a large backyard. It didn't show that it had an oversized pool. It didn't show that there were upgrades and design elements throughout the house that changed how the home felt in person, because it's a computer. Those details don't always translate through automated systems, of course. So that's where the human factor has to come into play. So she's like, it was great, but we could have got him more. And I think this was an interview with both of them. And then he said, well, looking back at it, I do regret that I didn't get a realtor because I was answering my phone from 7:30 in the morning until 9 at night. I got multiple offers and I wasn't even sure how to sort that out. He said the seller notes in the news story that he received 5 offers on the home within 72 hours, and working with an agent sure would have helped him leverage the interest in the property to maximize his profit. But he didn't know how to do that. So
why would
at the end of the day, he said every single day I would take phone calls. Sometimes, this is the realtor. She was taking phone calls from the seller every single day from sometimes 7:30 in the morning till 9 p.m. And during the home inspection, she was present for the entire 3 hours. And the seller talked to her and asked her questions about what came next and how do we move forward, because apparently, AI couldn't answer those questions for him. So at the end of the day, he learned a lesson, and he said AI is a good tool for some things, and realtors can probably help them use it to even perfect their work, but it's in no way a replacement for true human that's going to be there working hard and caring and really passionate about what they do and helping you through the process. So that was good to know. Good to hear.
Yeah. And, just a word of caution too. I access AI constantly as a research tool, and I found out so many times it's just not accurate. I mean, it's accurate on some things, but sometimes it doesn't put things together correctly and gives the wrong information. And if you don't have somebody checking it and making sure it's right, you could be led down the wrong path very quickly.
I feel like it's just important that people, it's great that people think they're going to do this and they come up with this great idea, but I think it's really great that they're willing to admit that it probably would have been better had they not, right? So.
Well, you've quoted this statistic, and I think it was NAR as well, that on average, a person who uses a realtor gets this much percentage
11%,
more.
11%. More. Yeah. And there's not anybody out there that's paying 11%, even when they're paying both sides, even when they're paying the list side and the buy side. They're not paying anywhere near 11%. And they're not doing the work, and they're taking all that stress off of them and putting it onto us, which is the way it should be.
All right, Robin, we'll take another quick break. We will be back in a moment with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group-RE Max Results on News Talk 1340 KROC AM at 96.9 FM.
We'll be right back with Robin Gwaltney and Andy Brownell on Rochester Real Estate. This is News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9. Welcome back to Rochester Real Estate with Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group, RE/MAX Results, and Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk, 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
It's Saturday morning, and we are with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group, RE/MAX Results on News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM. And it's a perfect weekend, right, for the Parade of Homes. That's still going on, right, Robin?
It is. I hope I get to hit it one of these weekends, but obviously today's our Easter egg hunt. Tomorrow I'm working all day. But the Parade of Homes is, has been traditionally a Twin Cities thing. And the Rochester area builders have had their own thing called the Rochester Area Showcase of Homes, or Home Showcase, something like that. And they would do 2 weekends, and they would do Saturday and Sunday only. But the Parade of Homes is, what the Twin Cities has been doing for a long time. And it's 5 weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Oh, gosh, yeah. That is different.
Yeah. This year, our builders decided to join that. So, I think it was more expensive for our builders to get in the books and stuff. And fewer builders participated than normal because I feel like it's hard to man a house that much, right? But there's 27 homes in Rochester in the Parade of Homes this year, okay? And they're all beautiful. I've been looking through the brochure and looking online, and I think there's a lot of them I want to go see. I just like to know what the houses are like because when people call me and say, have you ever been in it? I like to say, yeah, I have, and it's beautiful and this or that, whatever. So, but what's fun about the Parade of Homes is they have a different category. They have a category called Dream Homes. Although I think all 27 of these would be a dream home to somebody, right? But the Dream Homes are the best of the best. So there are 7 total, not in Rochester, 7 total in the Parade of Homes, 1 in Rochester. And the one in Rochester is at 5244 Trident Lane Southwest. And it was built by Zen Custom Homes. The builder is Debbie Price. I have had the fortune to work with Debbie in the past. She's an excellent builder. The clients love her, and she has just amazing taste. So I cannot wait to see this house. It is 6 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms, almost 14,000 square feet. You heard me right. And a 4-car garage. Now, this one will only be on the parade the last weekend, so April 10th, 11th, and 12th. The Parade of Homes in general is no cost. You can go and look at the houses, but you can imagine there's going to be a lot of people who are not in the market for a house that are going to be wanting to see this house because it's going to be unlike anything they've ever seen before. So this is one of the ones that they selected as a dream home, which means there is a $7 per person charge at the door. And no, the builder does not get this money, and no, the homeowner does not get this money. This money will go into the Housing First Minnesota Foundation, which is money that's used to help people get into homes, like the First Homes program, so the down payment assistance and stuff like that, right? Yeah. And if you plan to go, just know that, again, it's that last weekend, April 10th through the 12th is the only weekend that one's going to be available, $7 per person at the door. I'm sure they would really appreciate it if you didn't bring little kids to run around in there.
Right.
And you cannot pay cash, so you have to have a credit card. It's all cashless entry. So if you get a chance to check out the Parade of Homes, I would highly recommend it. A lot of people come to the Parade of Homes because I've, sat in those houses for many years when it was the showcase, and people say, yeah, we're not in the market. And the next thing you know, I hear from them a couple months later, Robin, that house you should. Yeah. So I think sometimes they're subliminally in the market and they just haven't realized it yet. Sometimes people just want to redo their house and they want to see what's the latest and greatest for kitchens and bathrooms and colors and all the fun stuff. But yeah, I do want to get out to the parade this year, and I definitely want to get in that dream home built by Zen Custom Homes up at Trident Lane. So
I gotta believe that house wasn't built on spec. They built that for someone, right?
Of course, yes.
I was gonna say
this is a custom built home, and the buyer agreed to allow the builder to put this on the parade and
neat.
hopefully raise some money for a good cause.
Yeah, that's a good cause.
was
More
very
home
generous of them.
ownership for people and opportunities for that is always a good cause in my view. That's for sure.
Yes.
And you're right. I mean, it's a great way if you are considering building to go out there and just get ideas on layouts and materials. Because it's overwhelming if you dive into it and it's, okay, now we got to decide this without ever checking it out beforehand to have an idea of what you might like and might not like. This is a great way to get familiar with some of this stuff.
Exactly. No, it's a great way for sure. It's better than a floor showroom on a in a store. You just get to walk and see it and feel it, and yeah, it's great.
Okay.
You get to meet the builders. Yeah, so it's great. It's a great day.
So before we run, one more time, if somebody wants to head to Wabasha,
yes, please do.
Find thousands of Easter eggs.
Yeah, 5,500 and over 1,000 prizes. Not to mention the candy that's in the eggs. So we got lots and lots of stuff for kids all ages. We have coloring contests, lots of things, and it starts at noon sharp. The picking up of the eggs. We start right at noon because these kids are starting to line up by 11:15, 11:20. So it'll be fun and good weather. So we'd love to see you.
Yeah, if you're listening right now, you still have plenty of time for breakfast before you have to get in the car and drive over.
And I'll be busy every minute setting up those prizes and putting those eggs out. So
I better let you get going. But how do we get a hold of you, Robin, if we want to talk about anything we've talked about, dealing with real estate, homes, everything? Yes.
Please call me. I would love to help you with anything I can help you with when it's regarding real estate. And my cell phone number is 507-259-4926.
All right. Good luck today with the Easter egg hunt.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you next weekend right before Easter arrives.
Sounds good.
Okay, Robin. Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX results. Thanks for being with us on News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 90.